My memory was correct. This doesn't smell like nail polish at all. Or blood. It's red ink. And with the help of my little grey cells, I will solve the murder of Mrs. Doyle. Samir, would you be so kind as to gather all the passengers in the lounge? As quick as you can.
Everyone? Even Mr. Doyle? In his condition?
Yes. It is absolutely crucial that all the passengers are present. I'm counting on you.
Right away, Mr. Poirot.
Then I arrested Riquetti at the Temple of Abu Simbel. He was injured, so I left him with the local police to get medical care.
I see.
Enough about me. What about you? Have you made progress on Louise's murder? Riquetti claims it wasn't him.
For once, he's telling the truth. He may be a murderer, but he's not our murderer. The best proof is that there was another murder on the boat during your absence. Mrs. Otterborn is dead.
Oh no, that poor lady! Who did it?
I was just about to answer that question. Everyone should be gathered in the lounge. If you wouldn't mind heading there, I'll join you shortly.
All right, I'll go ahead.
Nobody's going through that door, sir. You can trust me. I've gathered all the passengers, as you requested.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I see that everyone is here. Even Mr. Doyle.
I hope you have a good reason for moving Mr. Doyle. He is in very bad shape, as I've mentioned more than once, mein Herr.
I'll be fine. I want to hear what Mr. Poirot has discovered about Lynette's murder.
Thank you, monsieur. Now then, when we first began our investigation, we had two hypotheses. The first was that the murder was not premeditated. The killer witnesses the scene between Mr. Belfort and Mr. Doyle, waits for everyone to leave the lounge, grabs the revolver that was under the chair, and shoots Lynette Doyle. The second hypothesis was that the murder had been meticulously premeditated. Correct, Miss Royce?
Correct. Very quickly, we were able to eliminate one of these two hypotheses. The murder was very carefully planned and accurately timed, with all the details meticulously worked out beforehand.
Even to the drugging of my bottle of wine on the night in question. Let us explore the elements that support this hypothesis. Miss Robson had seen Mr. Belfort fire her revolver, had seen Simon Doyle collapse onto a chair, and had seen him clasp a handkerchief to his leg.
That's exactly what I saw.
What had Mr. Hayashi heard and seen? He heard a shot, and he found Doyle with a red-stained handkerchief pressed to his leg.
I can confirm that.
What had happened then? Mr. Doyle had been very insistent that Mr. Belfort should be got away, that she should not be left alone. After that, he suggested that Mr. Hayashi should get hold of the doctor. Accordingly, Miss Robson and Mr. Hayashi go out with Mr. Belfort, and for the next 5 minutes, they are busy on the port side of the deck. Miss Bowers, Dr. Bessner's, and Mr. Belfort's cabins are all on the port side.
So someone had 5 minutes alone to go and kill Mrs. Doyle.
But who?
Simon Doyle.
It is foolish, that. Do you think a man with a fractured bone and a splint on his leg could go walking about the boat and killing people? I tell you, it was impossible for Simon Doyle to leave my cabin.
But yes, the thing seems impossible. But it's nonetheless true. During my investigation, I managed to retrieve Mr. Belfort's revolver, which had been thrown into the water. It was wrapped in a stained handkerchief. To an untrained eye, this stain could have been mistaken for blood. But Hercule Poirot's eyes are not untrained. The stain was in fact red ink contained in one of Mrs. Doyle's bottles of nail polish.
So when Miss Robson and Mr. Hayashi saw Mr. Belfort shoot Mr. Doyle, and he writhed so piteously in pain from his injury, it was all a show. It was all staged. Mr. Doyle used that handkerchief soaked in red ink to make it look like he was bleeding from a bullet in his leg. He managed to fool everyone.
But I carried him. I clearly saw that he was in real pain.
Absolutely correct. He was indeed injured when you carried him.
But you just said that...
Patience, if you please. We're getting to the boldest part of this plan. As I mentioned earlier, after Mr. Belfort fired her shot, Mr. Doyle insisted that Miss Robson and Mr. Hayashi remove her from the lounge. Now he is alone. 2 minutes are all that Simon Doyle needs. He picks up the pistol from under the sofa, runs like a hare silently along the starboard deck, enters his wife's cabin, creeps up to her as she lies asleep, shoots her through the head, puts the bottle that has contained the red ink away, and runs back. But what does he do next? He sits back down in his chair and shoots himself in the leg. That is the moment when he's truly injured.
But what about the gunshot? We should have heard it, just like the first one. I even heard a splash in the water, which makes far less noise.
Well observed, my young friend. Mr. Doyle used an object to muffle the sound of the gunshot. Remember, on the night of the murder, Miss Van Schuler had lost her scarf. In fact, it was Simon Doyle who stole it and hid it under a cushion, setting the stage for his crime.
Scoundrel! How dare you involve me in your nasty schemes?
We fished the scarf, the handkerchief, and Mr. Belfort's revolver from the Nile. As you can see, the scarf has a hole ringed with powder burns, caused by a bullet fired at close range. You, Dr. Bessner, examined Lynette Doyle's body. You will remember that the wound showed signs of scorching. That is to say that the pistol had been placed close against the head before being fired.
So, that is exact.
Now, thanks to this scarf, we know that the gunshot was muffled. This also wasn't the shot that killed Lynette Doyle, because as we also now know that the burn marks on her skin means the gun's barrel was placed very close to her skin with nothing in between. It also could not have been the shot Mr. Belfort fired at Simon Doyle, as no one mentioned anything about it sounding muffled. Given these facts, the conclusion is quite clear. A third shot was fired that night. The third missing bullet from the revolver.
You make it sound so simple and logical.
Because it is, Monsieur Ferguson. Miss Van Schuler's scarf was used to muffle the sound of the gunshot when Mr. Doyle shot himself in the leg.
But that's not the end of the revolver's journey. Mr. Doyle wrapped the revolver in the stained handkerchief, then put everything in the scarf and tossed the bundle out the window into the Nile.
And that's the splash I heard.
Exactly, Mr. Allerton. It required very precise timing, but Monsieur Doyle acted coldly and swiftly, just as he did when he murdered his wife.
You certainly live up to your reputation, Mr. Poirot. Your theories are quite spectacular, but something is bothering me. If I am the villainous murderer who killed his wife, how do you explain the murders of Louise and Mrs. Otterbourne? What fantasies have you cooked up to explain how I could have managed those? And why? According to your theory, I was well and truly injured and bedridden in the care of Dr. Bessner all day. In fact, you're my alibi. I was even in the same room as you when poor Mrs. Otterbourne was killed.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Doyle. I hope you didn't think I was done. Let us move on to the murders of those unfortunate women. You couldn't have killed Miss Bourget and Mrs. Otterbourne, Mr. Doyle. But you're not entirely innocent of their deaths either. Remember when Louise came to testify? When I asked her if she had seen anything the previous night, she gave this curious answer. Naturally, if I had been unable to sleep, if I had mounted the stairs, then perhaps I might have seen this assassin, this monster, enter or leave Madame's cabin. Now, what exactly did that tell us? Miss Bourget lied when she said she saw nothing. She had indeed seen the murderer, Mr. Doyle, enter Lynette's cabin. But instead of coming to me, she preferred to profit from her knowledge. She tried to blackmail Mr. Doyle. She sent her carefully worded message, and he responded, "You'll be quite all right. I'll look after you."
Secret codes now? Really? Ridiculous. And you're still not answering my question. How could I have killed Louise in the saloon when I could barely walk?
It's very simple. If you didn't kill Louise Bourget, then you must have had an accomplice.
An accomplice? Are you accusing me?
This accomplice can be none other than Jacqueline de Belfort.
What?
I beg your pardon. You're insane.
As I say, it was a very cleverly planned and well thought out piece of work. It could not be chance that Simon Doyle had a bottle of red ink in his pocket. No, it must be design. It was not chance that he had a plain unmarked handkerchief with him. It was not chance that Jacqueline de Belfort's foot kicked the pistol under the settee, where it would be out of sight and unremembered until later.
So you truly believe that Miss de Belfort and Mr. Doyle are accomplices?
Certainly, the two halves of the murderer. What gave Simon his alibi? Jacqueline's supposed breakdown was indeed staged, but that wasn't Simon's real alibi. It's the bullet that Miss de Belfort fired into Mr. Doyle's leg that provided him with an alibi. Even if left alone, he wouldn't have been able to crawl to his wife's cabin to kill her. But Miss de Belfort didn't actually hit Mr. Doyle with that shot. He pretended to be injured, so crawling wasn't necessary. Now let's move on to the shooter. What gives Jacqueline de Belfort her alibi? Mr. Doyle was insistent that Miss de Belfort was never to be left alone from the moment of the gunshot until this morning. That gave her a rock-solid alibi for the murder of Mrs. Doyle.
There, between the two of them, you get all the qualities you require. The cool, resourceful planning brain, Jacqueline de Belfort's brain, and the man of action to carry it out with incredible swiftness and timing.
Look at it the right way, and it answers every question. Simon Doyle and Jacqueline had been lovers. Realize that they are still lovers, and it is all clear. Simon does away with his rich wife, inherits her money, and in due course will marry his old love. It was all very ingenious.
The persecution of Mrs. Doyle by Jacqueline, all part of the plan. Simon's pretended rage. Then one night, on this boat, I thought I heard Simon and Lynette outside my cabin. He was saying, "We've got to go through with it now." It was Doyle, all right, but it was to Jacqueline he was speaking. The final drama was perfectly planned and timed. There was a sleeping draught for me, in case I might put an inconvenient finger in the pie. There was the selection of Miss Robson as a witness, the working up of the scene, Miss de Belfort's exaggerated remorse and frenzies. She made a good deal of noise in case the shot should be heard. In truth, it was an extraordinarily clever idea. Jacqueline says she shot Doyle. Miss Robson says so. Mr. Hayashi says so. And when Simon's leg is examined, he has indeed been shot. It looks unanswerable. For both of them, there is a perfect alibi. At the cost, it is true, of a certain amount of pain and risk to Simon Doyle. But it is necessary that his wound should definitely disable him. But then, the plan goes wrong. Someone sees Mr. Doyle enter his wife's cabin. Louise Bourget has been wakeful. She has come up the stairway, and she has seen Simon Doyle run along to his wife's cabin and come back. So she makes her greedy bid for hush money and, in so doing, signs her death warrant.
But Mr. Doyle couldn't have killed her.
No. The other partner did that murder. As soon as he could, Simon Doyle asks to see Jacqueline. He even asks me to leave them alone together. He tells her of the new danger. They must act at once. He knows where Bessner's scalpels are kept. And still, all is not well. For Mrs. Otterbourne has seen Jacqueline go to the saloon, and she comes hot-foot to tell Simon about it. Jacqueline is the murderess. Do you remember how Simon shouted at the poor woman? Nerves, we thought. But the door was open, and he was trying to convey the danger to his accomplice. She heard, and she acted like lightning. She remembered Pennington had talked about a revolver. She got hold of it, crept up outside the door, listened, and at the critical moment, fired. She boasted once that she was a good shot, and her boast was not an idle one. I remarked, after that third crime, that there were 3 ways the murderer could have gone. I meant that he could have gone aft, in which case Ferguson was the criminal. He could have gone over the side, very improbable. Or he could have gone into a cabin. Jacqueline's cabin was just 2 away from Dr. Bessner's. She had only to throw down the revolver and bolt into the cabin. It was risky, but it was the only possible chance.
So you killed my mother, you filthy witch!
Rosalie, no. I understand, but attacking her isn't the answer. Come on. How can you listen to the ramblings of this old fool? His entire grand theory is based on the fancies he's made up out of whole cloth, without a shred of evidence.
You might hope it is so, young man. You insist more proof is needed? You hope Poirot is a doddering old fool? Then by all means, let's allow someone else to dodder some. Miss Royce, if you would.
I don't think so. With pleasure. The irrefutable proof is tiny, but look here. You can see that the wood is damaged, and the bullet that caused it is still lodged in the hole. I'm sure forensics will prove that it's a .22 caliber cartridge fired from the murder weapon. This is the bullet Mr. Belfour shot at Simon Doyle. It ended up in the wall, not in his leg.
Damn you! Damn you both! Our plan was perfect! It took 2 meddling detectives to work it out. Jackie and I were going to be rich and happy. We deserved it!
And we derive the penalty for our failure. Simon, darling, let me speak. You were too clever for us, Mr. Poirot. That night, at Aswan, you told me not to open my heart to evil. Did you realize then what was in my mind?
I only knew that what I said was true.
It was true I could have stopped then, you know. I nearly did. I could have told Simon that I wouldn't go on with it. But then perhaps... Would you like to hear about it? From the beginning?
If you care to tell me, mademoiselle.
It was all very simple, really. You see, Simon and I loved each other.
And for you, love would have been enough. But not for him.
You might put it that way, perhaps. Simon always wanted money so dreadfully, and all the same, he never tried to marry anybody rich and horrid. He wasn't that sort. And then we met. Our love was obvious from the first glance. We were broke, but we wanted to get married. There we were, up against it. And then I thought of Lynette. It might make all the difference to me and Simon if she'd give him a job. It was about then that you saw us that night at Chez ma tante. You know, Mr. Poirot, I loved Lynette, really I did. She was my best friend, and I never dreamed that anything would ever come between us. But she went all out to get Simon away from me. I don't think she even hesitated for more than about a minute. I was her friend, but she didn't care. She just went bald-headed for Simon. That's why I'm not really sorry about her, even now. And Simon didn't care a damn about her. But he did like the thought of her money. Of course I saw that. And at last I suggested to him that it might be a good thing if he got rid of me and married Lynette. But he scouted the idea. He said, money or no money, it would be hell to be married to her. He said his idea of having money was to have it himself. He talked about it a good deal one way and another, about how convenient it would be if Lynette died. I said it was an awful idea, and then he shut up about it. After a bit, I saw that he'd made up his mind, and I was terrified. Simply terrified. Because you see, I realized that he'd never pull it off. He'd have no kind of subtlety about it. And he's got no imagination. So I had to come into it too, to look after him. I thought and I thought, trying to work out a plan. It seemed to me that the basis of the idea ought to be a kind of two-handed alibi. You know, Simon and I could somehow or other give evidence against each other, but actually that evidence would clear us of everything. It would be easy enough for me to pretend to hate Simon. It was quite a likely thing to happen under the circumstances. Then, if Lynette was killed, I should probably be suspected. So it would be better if I was suspected right away. We worked out details little by little. Even then, Simon went and wrote a J in blood, which was a silly, melodramatic thing to do. It's just the sort of thing he would think of. But it all went off fine. And then there was Louise.
Yes. It was not your fault that Louise Bourget could not sleep that night.
That miserable Frenchwoman tried to blackmail us. I pretended to grovel. I took her all the money we could get hold of. And then, when she was counting the money, I did it. It was quite easy. That's what's so horribly frightening about it. It's so terribly easy. And even then, we weren't safe. Mrs. Otterbourne had seen me. I'd no time to think. I just acted like a flash. It was almost exciting.
Love can be a very frightening thing.
That is why most great love stories are tragedies. Don't mind so much for me, Monsieur Poirot. After all, I've always lived hard, you know.
Jackie, I ruined everything. I'm sorry for it all, my love. If I had known all this before,
It's all right, Simon. A fool's game, and we've lost. That's all.
Look out! She took my gun!
Adieu, mon amour.
No!
Us won at last. Still trying to absorb one shock after another. And how are we greeted upon our arrival? A day of police interrogation. We didn't reach the hotel until now.
Oh, my feet are killing me. My back. The police might as well have beaten me. What brutes. Oh, those embarrassing personal questions, as if I were a criminal when we already know the truth.
Yes, the police could have simply relied on Monsieur Poirot's explanations. It would have saved us from wasting our entire day at the police station.
Fortunately, we're leaving tomorrow. They won't be seeing me in Egypt again anytime soon, I can tell you that.
Thank you for assisting me with the official statement to the police today, Miss Royce. Repeating it all for the police requires great patience.
I agree with you on that, Mr. Poirot. But I enjoyed the expressions on their faces as you explained the facts. It was my pleasure. At any rate, I understand we won't have to return there tomorrow.
No, the Egyptian police can take over from here. The narrative I provided seems to satisfy them. The case will be officially closed.
My God, I'm so hungry.
Then let's eat. All this excitement has made me quite hungry as well, my boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, your dinner is ready to be served. If you would kindly proceed to the terrace, everything has been arranged.
Waiter, another glass, if you please. Care to have another one with me, my friend?
I'm afraid I don't drink as fast as you, Mr. Pennington. My glass is still only half full.
Oh, no, that's half empty. It must be refilled.
What is the reason for all of this enthusiasm?
It's because I'm celebrating. You're talking to the richest man in England. This trip has been the most lucrative of my career.
If it is not impolite to ask, what are you going to do when you return to England, Miss Rice?
I'm not taking on any new cases right away. There's more I need to know about Emmy's murderers. I'm going to dig deeper into the Spire organization.
A task very dangerous, I think. Do you have any idea where you will start?
Yes, Riquetti had a satchel containing some documents. I haven't had the time to look through them until now, but I'm hoping they'll give me some leads.
It is a big case you're tackling, Miss Royce. A dangerous one. I wish you the best of luck. Please keep me informed. And if there is anything I can do, please just ask.
Waiter! Actually, just bring me the bottle. That'll be quicker.
Good night, Miss Royce.
Good night.
Miss Royce, come join me. I tire of my book. You wouldn't be up for a game of chess, would you?
How did you know I played? No, never mind. I'm sure your little grey cells told you. I probably won't be able to give you much of a match, but I'd be delighted.
So, the documents from Riquetti. Did you find anything?
An interior motive for the invitation. Nothing particularly interesting.
Do not be discouraged. I find chess helps clear my mind. It may help you too. You may play white.
And here we go.
Checkmate.
I didn't have much hope of beating you, but I enjoyed the match.
Don't be modest. You keep me on my toes. Since I won, will you grant me a question that's been intriguing me for months?
You've earned it. Go ahead.
When we first met at the club Chez Ma Tante, how did you know that it was Joanna Southwood who had stolen the engagement ring? To me, the only explanation would be that you saw her.
Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most likely. That's right. I saw Joanna come out of the storage room with the ring.
Et voilà. Sometimes the solution is as simple as that.
Quick! Help! There's someone floating in the pool!
Oh no! Who is it?
It's Mr. Pennington! I checked his pulse. He's dead.
He drowned? This is horrible. What a tragic accident.
A rather odd accident, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean? The man had been drinking non-stop. Wait, you're not seriously suggesting this could be another murder, are you? Not here? My God, that would be a nightmare for the hotel's reputation. Mr. Poirot, we can't call the police. If they come, it will cause chaos. We'll have to close down. Please, Mr. Poirot, I am begging you. Can you help?
I will see what I can find. But the police must be called when I tell you.
As soon as you give the word, Mr. Poirot, you have my word.
Like some help?
Thank you, Miss Royce. But what I do now, it is not precisely correct. If there is blame, I would prefer it land on me alone.
Okay, but I can at least get Dr. Bessner to examine the body.
Thank you again, Mr. Poirot. I'll head back to the front desk and keep the guests and our staff from the pool area.
And unfortunately, thanks to the receptionist, news of Pennington's death will be all over the hotel. Very well, Poirot. One day you must learn to say no. But for now, you had better examine the scene. Well, Mr. Pennington, it seems you will not be able to enjoy the newly acquired wealth you were boasting about to all who could hear.
Another death? It's a nightmare. I thought the tragedies would end once we left the boat. You haven't touched anything, have you?
You ask this of Hercule Poirot, Doctor?
Oh, all right. Apologies. But I'll have to pull him out of the water to examine him. Let's have a look at things. I can confirm that he is dead. No big surprise there. Time of death? Exact time complicated by the pool, which is heated. A more thorough examination will help. But he can't have been floating here long, unnoticed, with all the hotel guests and staff. Would you mind comparing your observations with mine?
With pleasure. No signs of a struggle on the hands.
Indeed. Not conclusive. So, in your opinion, did Mr. Pennington drown?
If he had drowned, the body would have sunk due to water entering his lungs just before death. So, the fact that he is floating tells us there is still air in his lungs, not water. So he did not die by drowning.
Exactly. I reached the same conclusion.
I see an open wound at the back of the head, and there is blood on the edge of the pool, suggesting the victim's head hit the edge of the pool, causing the fracture.
Yes, causing severe head trauma. The location is not ideal, but I'll continue my examination and make certain no one disturbs the body.
Thank you for your observations and for keeping watch over the body. What do we have here? A small stain. Possibly blood. This bottle is unreachable for the moment. Chapeau. Score 1 for the forces of good. For now, it appears the victim was attacked and fell into the pool, striking the back of his head, resulting in his death. This scenario seems to be the most plausible one. An attack perhaps not premeditated, but it's certain that Pennington's death was not accidental. It seems my work in Egypt is not complete. There is a murderer in this hotel. My little grey cells did not let me. The only way to access the pool is by way of the terrace. I spent almost the entire evening sitting facing the terrace entrance. I should be able to remember who came in and out to create an initial list of witnesses and suspects. I should go back to where I was sitting earlier to help jog my memory. Container of coarse salt for replacing chlorine in swimming pool water. A pool net. An empty champagne bottle? Can one human being truly? Consume that much alcohol? I must remember if I saw people coming or going from the terrace at the time. now know who the suspects are. Miss Royce, Mr. Ferguson, Tim Allerton, Rosalie Otterbourne, Mr. Hayashi, and Miss Bowers. I need to interrogate them. Good evening. Sorry to disturb you at this late hour.
Not a problem, Mr. Poirot. As you can see, I wasn't asleep. Is there something wrong?
May I come in?
Well, as you wish.
Good evening, Monsieur Poirot.
Good evening. I apologize for interrupting. I'm afraid I bear more bad news. Mr. Pennington is dead.
My God.
Another death? Will this madness never end?
Could you both tell me about your evening?
It's simple. We've been together all evening.
After dinner, we went for a walk in the garden.
Did you see Mr. Pennington there?
Yes. He was alone by the pool, gulping down something alcoholic.
We came back inside around 8 p.m. It was starting to get cold.
Did you go out again?
Yes, around 9:30 p.m. We relaxed in the amphitheater for half an hour or so. These desert nights can be sweltering. Then we came back inside.
And Mr. Pennington, did you see him during your time there?
I'm afraid I was only paying attention to this lady here.
Mr. Pennington wasn't there anymore.
Are you sure? By the pool, perhaps?
Absolutely certain. I didn't see anyone by the pool either, going or coming back.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Hayashi.
Monsieur Poirot, what brings you here?
More sad news, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, Mr. Pennington has died.
Another murder? But surely you caught the murderers. How many can there be?
Oh, in my experience, you never can tell.
I assume you want to question me. Would you like to come in?
Thank you. Can you tell me what you did this evening?
After dinner, I went to chat with Miss Bowers in the amphitheater. Miss Bowers left, but I stayed for a while. Mr. Pennington was still there. I went back to my room around 8:30 p.m. Then I went back around 10:30 p.m., and there was no one outside. I went back to my room a few minutes later. I haven't moved from here since.
Thank you for your testimony.
At your service.
Mr. Allerton? Well, Tim Allerton isn't in his room. Good evening. Am I disturbing you?
I was analysing Ricchetti's documents. I could use a break.
It won't take long. You spent most of the evening with me, but you were on the terrace before I arrived. I thought you might have seen something, even if it didn't seem important at the time.
No, I've thought back, but no luck. Mr. Ferguson arrived just a little after me. We just quickly shared a cigarette together.
And before that?
Before 9 p.m, I was in my room working on Ricchetti's files.
Then you joined me. I see.
That's right. I'm sorry, I hope it helps you a little.
Who can tell? I'll let you get back to your work. If I want to question Miss Bowers, she's outside on the terrace. Good evening, Mr. Ferguson. Would you mind? I have a few questions regarding your schedule for this evening.
I've already been questioned all day by the police. Is this really necessary?
Unfortunately, yes. Mr. Pennington has been found dead here in the hotel this evening.
Good God. Well, all his money won't do him any good where he is now, will it?
I'm not interested in a character endorsement, monsieur. Tell me about your evening.
My evening? Well, after dinner, I stayed at my table for a while to enjoy that view one last time. After a while, I'd say around 8:30 p.m., I went back to my room.
Did you see anyone outside at that time?
I remember seeing Tim and Rosalie taking a stroll. Pennington was guzzling something down by the pool. Oh, and Hayashi and Mrs. Allerton were chatting in the amphitheater.
And then?
Around 9:10 p.m., I wanted to smoke. I realized I'd forgotten my cigarettes at my table. So I went back down and ran into Miss Royce. She borrowed a cigarette from me. We smoked together, chatted, and she's quite a remarkable woman. Then we went back inside.
How long did you stay there?
Just enough time for a cigarette, about 10 minutes at most. After that, I didn't leave my room again.
And Mr. Pennington, did you see him while you were smoking?
No, we were leaning against the railing facing the pool. There wasn't a soul outside.
Very well. Thank you. Miss Bowers, may I have a word with you?
Of course, Monsieur Poirot. How can I help you?
Can you tell me about your evening?
Of course. After dinner, Mr. Hayashi and I spent some time chatting in the amphitheater. When I went back to my room, it must have been around 8 p.m., and Mr. Pennington was drunk, or so I thought, lying in a deck chair by the pool, clearly inebriated. A little later, I heard him yelling at someone from my room. I had my window open, you see. He was hurling insults, but I couldn't hear what the other person was saying. Then there was a splash, like someone diving in or falling into the water. Pennington continued shouting threats.
Threats?
I'm going to kill you. You don't know who you're dealing with. That sort of thing. He sounded furious.
And then? What else did you hear?
After a few minutes, once he calmed down, nothing else. Everything seemed normal until I decided to go back outside around 10:40 p.m. or so. That's when I found Pennington floating in the pool and rushed back in to inform you.
A fight? So he was still alive when he fell or was pushed into the pool. Thank you, Miss Bowers. Someone is lying. With the elements I have, the time of death is between 10 p.m. and 10:40 p.m. Bowers is definitely innocent because she didn't have the time to kill Pennington. If it were Miss Royce, Mr. Ferguson, Tim Allerton, or Rosalie Otterborn who had lied, Mr. Hayashi would have had to find the body floating. However, he claims to have seen nothing. So since he is the last one to say he saw nothing, he must be lying. Excellent detective work.
Come in.
Can you tell me what you did this evening?
After dinner, I went to chat with Miss Bowers in the amphitheater. Miss Bowers left, but I stayed for a while. Mr. Pennington was still there. I went back to my room around 8:30 p.m. Then I went back around 10:30 p.m. and there was no one outside. I went back to my room a few minutes later. I haven't moved from here since.
Something isn't right. Sir, you are lying to me.
Sir, I am not.
You claim to have seen nothing when you went out at 10:30 p.m. However, you are the last person to have gone out before Miss Bowers found Pennington's body 5 minutes later.
But if I didn't see anything and Bowers tells you she discovered the body, why aren't you accusing her?
Because she was outside for less than a minute. It would have been impossible for her to kill him and then come back in. Why would she lie to me?
I killed him. I knew it. I never wanted it to happen like this. I feel so guilty.
Calm down, Mr. Hayashi. Give me everything from the beginning, and do it calmly.
As I told you, Miss Bowers went back before me. But when I finally decided to head back up, Pennington started picking a fight with me. He was completely drunk, spouting rambling nonsense that I could barely understand. And the last thing I wanted was to put up with it.
So, it was you that Miss Bowers heard from her room.
At one point, he lost it and started to physically attack me. I pushed him away, perhaps a bit too violently. He fell into the pool. He was thrashing around in the water, insulting me and threatening me. I admit that the situation amused me, and I left him in the water. I went back to my room. He was still yelling when I left. I just thought he would get back out on his own. But in reality, he drowned.
Are you sure he was alive when you left him?
Yes, but around 10 p.m., I started having doubts and felt a little worried, given how drunk he was. I went back down to check if he was okay, and I found him floating in the pool. Because of me, he'd been there for hours. When I realized he was dead, I panicked and I went back up to my room.
Even though he seems honest when telling his story, some things don't add up with what I've discovered. Let's go over his testimony again. Not really. That doesn't match with what I know. Mr. Hayashi, you told me that Pennington drowned. I can assure you that he died from hitting his head on the edge of the pool.
I don't understand. He didn't hit his head. I pushed him into the water.
And there's more. That's almost it. No. That doesn't align itself with what I know. That's almost it. Mr. Hayashi, you think you left Mr. Pennington dead in the pool for hours. But if that were the case, several people would have seen him between the time you pushed him and the moment you found him. However, I have no testimony that supports this.
I'm lost. What are you implying? That I killed him when I went back the second time?
I'm not implying anything. I'm stating facts.
I'm telling you again. At 10:30 p.m., he was already dead. When I saw him, I tried to turn him over to check his pulse, but it was already too late. I remember the bottles he had put in his jacket fell into the water. I got scared. I put him back the way I found him and ran away. That's the absolute truth.
A moment, please. Bottles? What bottles?
He had been drinking the whole evening. He was so drunk that he even put 2 empty champagne bottles in his jacket.
But why didn't you tell me that earlier?
I don't know, because I didn't think it mattered, I suppose.
Ugh.
But come on, Mr. Poirot. What difference does it make that he had bottles in his jacket? He was drunk.
Mr. Hayashi, it changes absolutely everything.
Does that mean you believe me?
It would be different if I didn't, but time will tell. found you. With all these bottles and the quantity of alcohol I saw him drink at the table, he must have been quite intoxicated. Great. Yes, you cannot escape Poirot's piercing gaze. I'm going to need that. Here we are, fishing again. This is the bottle Mr. Hayashi mentioned. Let's see what it can tell me. There's a white residue at the bottom. It's salt, without a doubt. No, I did something wrong. A good answer, of course. The load must be in contact with the body in order to sink it. The load is not heavy enough to sink the body. Bottles filled with salt were used as weights to sink the body. The salt took a long time to dissolve in the water. Once it had almost completely dissolved, the body resurfaced.
Precisely. Is that applause I hear?
That explains why several witnesses didn't see Mr. Pennington around the pool. And more importantly, it changes the time of death that I had estimated between 10 p.m. and 10:40 p.m.
Who is the world's greatest detective?
did something wrong. So, Mr. Pennington was killed after Mr. Hayashi argued with him. But before, I was in the lobby and witnessed the comings and goings on the terrace. Excellent detective work, naturally. What a clever plan. This murderer is no amateur. With this new perspective, I no longer have any witnesses or alibis at the time of the crime. I'm back to square one.
Ah, Mr. Poirot, I was looking for you.
Voila, you have found me.
I remembered what Pennington said to me during our argument.
I'm listening.
At the time when he threatened to kill me, I didn't understand. But the more I think about it, the more I believe it's important.
Tell me everything.
He said to me, "Stop sticking your nose in my business. Your lucky Riquetti isn't around anymore. He would have taken care of you." Well, it seems like Pennington and Riquetti knew each other, doesn't it?
It does, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Hayashi.
Glad to have helped you.
Pennington murdered. Pennington and Riquetti knew each other. The clues are coming together. Miss Royce, are you here? Door open, room empty. Something's wrong. Something has happened. I should inspect the room. Miss Royce taped some things to the wall. Evidence cards, clues. What did she discover? Clock is broken. Stopped at 8:53 p.m. This lamp has been put back in place, but it must have fallen to the floor. This document must have come from Ricchetti's satchel. But where is the rest? And where is the satchel? Exactly, that's it. Wonderful. Well done. Oh, I must have missed something. Wonderful. You were at the reception desk tonight? You must have seen all the comings and goings of the guests, correct?
Unfortunately, not all the time. After dinner, I had to deal with a small water leak in room 111. I came back down around 9 p.m. and then I was at my post. You arrived just after my return and played chess with Miss Royce. I probably didn't see much more than you did.
Well, Poirot, you knew it wasn't going to be that easy.
You know, Miss Royce, the last time I spoke to someone on this bench, she had the same sad and defeated look.
It's a good place to reflect.
I'm not used to giving compliments, but you are an excellent detective. Your help was invaluable in unmasking Jacqueline de Belfort and Simon Doyle. I thank you again.
It was a privilege to work with you, Mr. Poirot. You are undoubtedly the best detective I have ever known.
And yet, there are days like today when I would rather not be.
I really hoped I could spare you this moment.
You neatly threw me off the scent. The idea of the salt bottles was quite clever. Truly clever and executed perfectly. It required Mr. Hayashi to remember the bottle stuck in the victim's jacket. Even then, only an outstanding detective could grasp the critical importance of this detail in the investigation, delaying the discovery of the body. Very ingenious. I long believed that the death occurred just before the body was found. You made it seem like the murder occurred much later, thereby creating a rock-solid alibi for yourself at the time of the body's discovery. One must appreciate the irony, as it was I who inadvertently provided you with that alibi by inviting you to play chess. But I suppose you wouldn't have had any trouble finding another way. And you also needed someone who could testify that the pool was empty when you were there. After sinking the body, you deliberately waited for someone to come out onto the terrace. That was Ferguson. You made sure he saw that the pool was empty, By leaving an empty bottle at the top of the stairs by the dock, you hoped to make it seem like Pennington had gone down to the docks by himself all along. But ultimately, your presence on the terrace before Ferguson's arrival worked against you. Once the hypothesis of a death at 10 p.m. was ruled out, you became my primary suspect by default. You know, the how in a murder is important. But for me, the key point is why. Why kill Pennington? When I found your room door open, I almost wondered if you had done it on purpose. And everything became clear when it dawned on me that you had ransacked the room yourself. My theory is that you discovered something in Ricchetti's papers that made you furious. But I couldn't verify it because you made the documents disappear. I imagine that they must now be at the bottom of the Nile, along with Ricchetti's satchel. The river bottom was a very popular dumping ground throughout this case. My belief is that you discovered Pennington was connected to Emmy's murder. And that drove you into a rage.
That bastard. He was the one who ordered Ricchetti to kill my Emmy. When I realized that, I lost it.
Explain to me what happened.
Don't try to humor me, Mr. Poirot. I know very well you've already figured it out.
Perhaps, but I'd like to hear it from your perspective, if you would indulge me.
Very well. When I realized, I lost it. I turned my room upside down, ripped everything apart. I stormed downstairs to find Pennington. He was completely drunk and laughed in my face, mocking Emmy when I confronted him. He said I could never prove it. But of course, it was never my intent to prove it. I pushed him with all my strength. He fell on the edge of the pool and that was it. Flesh hitting concrete.
It's a shame it came to that.
I'm sorry. I could say I never meant to kill him, but in truth, I don't regret my actions. I suppose you're going to turn me into the police now?
The police? Why should I do that? The evidence is clear. It was an accident. Mr. Pennington was drunk. He slipped and fell and died from hitting his head.
Thank you, Mr. Poirot.
Do not thank me. You are at heart a good person. It is not the past that matters, but the future. But you must live with what you did. And that is punishment enough, I think. If I'm any judge. The night has been long. I wish you a good night, Miss Royce.
Us won at last. Still trying to absorb one shock after another. And how are we greeted upon our arrival? A day of police interrogation. We didn't reach the hotel until nap,